Welcome to the CEO Holy Grail podcast, where we interview panels of corporate leaders, including CEOs and other top executives. We're your hosts, Asha Mankowska and Regina Bergman. Join us to learn top leadership principles, understand the challenges facing these leaders, and how to overcome them while generating more profitability in your business. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Linda and Dr. Asha. How are you both this morning?
So glad to be here. Thank you so much, Regina and Asha, for allowing me to be your special guest on this incredible new platform. I'm so excited at the CEO Holy Grail. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this platform.
We're excited to have you here and to learn from you today, Linda, to visit with you and to learn from you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Asha. How are you this morning?
Fantastic. Good morning. We are very honored to have Linda today because she has such a vast of wisdom and knowledge about all the challenges, all the wins, all the achievements. I think she's seen it all, not only in her own business, but also having the thousands of her clients expressing those challenges to her that she will share with everyone this morning. I think we are so in alignment with Linda's and criteria and the depth of impact we are making in the world. So that's why I think she will be so perfect this morning. All right, Regina.
Awesome. Thank you, Asha. Linda, we want to hear a little bit about you as we get started this morning. Would you share a bit with us about your journey getting to where you are now, who you serve, and why that's important to you?
Absolutely. So early in my career, I was very lucky to work at some of the most well-respected and well-known media organizations around the world. And as I moved up through those media organizations, I rose to the position of Chief Marketing Officer and then transitioned into leadership organizations where I also served as the Chief Marketing Officer until later in my career, where I was given the great privilege of actually being hired as the Chief Executive Officer of one of the most, I think, specialized and impactful leadership organizations in the world. Through that experience, I really recognized that the power of community and the power of partnership is really unrivaled. There's an incredible power in community and in forming impactful partnerships based on mutual respect and trust. And I think that developing a fundamental awareness of the key relationships in your life can be absolutely game changers. I mean, just consider the possibility of adopting a new approach to problem solving or a pioneering approach to cooperation that could literally redesign the relationships in your life. And what I learned through my experience is that true power is more than just collaboration. It's about moving to a relationship that involves co-creation, shared risks, shared responsibilities, a level of interdependency that really does create organizational transformation. So through my career trajectory, I really understood the power of community and true partnership. And it's about identifying shared values. It's about identifying shared goals and objectives, and then leveraging the combined strength of each partner, each person, to achieve a level of impact that could never be accomplished independently. So I developed Leadership Global so that women in leadership all over the world could step into the power of community and develop those kind of impactful partnerships that creates a really solid foundation for families, businesses, communities, and honestly, the world. Partnerships and communities that are founded on trust and respect foster an explosion of creativity and create really a multiplier effect that can transform lives. So Leadership Global is now a global community. It's an impactful community of extraordinary women in leadership around the globe. And Leadership Global's methodology is designed to help them really unleash their full potential as high performing, growth oriented leaders. And we provide a confidential, supportive, and private space, almost a safe haven for women in leadership to receive the kind of unbiased and objective feedback and the kind of counsel that they need to take that next step in their own success journey. This is a place where women can meet other inspirational leaders, create lifelong friendships, and be surrounded by people that are deeply invested in their success.
Can I just say amen?
Yeah.
I mean, that
Mhm.
so much of what you just said resonates. And, and I think what Asha and I are trying to do is exactly what you're talking about there, that partnership, that all in, and sharing the risks, sharing the joys, sharing the hardships, sharing the, that true partnership that you were talking about. So yeah, a huge amen to everything you just said, and kudos to you for pulling that all together.
For the encouragement and the support. I will tell you, the purpose of Leadership Global is very simple. It's to create and to support personal and professional breakthroughs. It's to help guide women to achieving greater leverage, but also greater freedom, both in their careers and businesses, as well as their life. So we provide what we consider to be a global community of world-class women, thought leaders, experts, business leaders, and they're brought together to collaborate and facilitate excellent outcomes for each other. Right. They are deeply invested in each other's success, and I feel like that is the magic of a community that is vibrant and that is alive. You see, stories of, being able to reach that one person, create that one relationship, meet that one partner that is a catalyst to a new level of success. It completely changes your trajectory. And I see that every day. I've seen businesses double in size. I've seen nonprofits get fully funded. I've seen new divisions of corporations created. I've seen women step on huge global stages. And it's from the relationships that they're able to create. And it's my belief that you can't get to the right destination with the wrong relationships. You've got to intentionally surround yourself with women or leaders that are going to be deeply invested in your success.
And what a joy every day. Talk about waking up every day excited about what you get to do, right?
Absolutely. I help members accelerate their success by, sometimes it's about defining their vision. Sometimes it's about clarifying the path that they're on and what they want to achieve in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Sometimes it's about growing their leadership. It's about, ensuring that they're comfortable being seen, being visible, being heard. It's about growing their leadership. Sometimes it's about expanding their influence, giving them global stages, and connecting them with people that will be really instrumental in their own success. But all of this in service to leaving a lasting legacy for women who have so much to offer the world.
Yes. Excellent. Asha?
Wonderful.
Your thoughts?
You know what? I would love, because we had a great conversation with Linda behind the scenes. So I would love her to share something with us, because Regina and myself in the CEO Holy Grail, we always welcome mid-sized companies, large-sized companies, which means ranging from anyway 10 million, 100 million and above, obviously, that really undergoing strategic shifts in their businesses and organization. And we have for them short-term and long-term goals assistance and the whole family that is at their fingertips, so to speak, to assist them and help them. But what is important to us also, besides the financial criterias, I would love Linda share who she welcomes into her organization, in her global organization, because in such alignment with what Regina and myself standing for when we welcome new clients into our family of CEO Holy Grail. Linda, would you share those three criteria? Because I think they're so on point.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Asha. So first, let me say that I have a deep appreciation for the transformative power of community to create a world that is more inclusive, prosperous, sustainable, resilient. And so we have built our three criteria based on that mission. We believe that, again, we are looking for people who are passionate about co-creation, about true transformation, about creating shared value and combining the strengths of each individual member to create true impact. So based on that, we have three criteria for members. And believe it or not, I actually say no to more women who are interested in joining than I say yes. And it's based on three very deeply held principles. Number one, that you have to be in a position of leadership to create that shared experience, that shared expertise. And in that position of leadership, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and transparent. You have to be willing to talk about your failures as well as your successes. So not only are we looking for women who carry the title CEO or president of either a nonprofit, for-profit, or it could be that you're a business owner, business entrepreneur. So it doesn't really matter if you are a business founder or you were hired into a leadership position, but we want leaders to come together and be able to share with each other in a very authentic, vulnerable, and very transparent sort of way. So that's number one. Number two is that we want women who are going to respect other women, who are going to deeply invest in the success of women, really pay it forward. So because we're a global organization, we have welcomed women from every nation, every color, every creed, every belief system, every industry, every background. And we want women who are going to embrace the leadership of other women, regardless of their stories, their backgrounds, where they live, what languages they speak. We want women who are going to lift up and cheer on other women in leadership, and they're going to be appreciative of those women. They're going to treat them with respect and value and dignity. So that is a non-negotiable. And the third pillar that we use to ensure that we're attracting the right leaders into Leadership Global is we're looking for lifetime learners. We're looking for people who recognize that the world is moving really quickly. I mean, just look at all the advances that AI has brought us. And you have to recognize that to be a lifetime learner, you have to be open to learning new platforms, new systems, new protocols. And just because you carry a title of CEO does not mean that your learning journey is over. I think you've got to recognize that, you know, just because you've been able to achieve a certain level of success, and just because you've been able to ascend to a very elevated position of leadership, does not mean that your leadership journey or your learning journey is over. In fact, I think that we try to create, operate, and sustain a community that is based on the opportunity to share risks, share rewards, and always be on a continuous journey of learning.
I love that learning journey, that term.
I love that. Right? Learning journey. I mean, in every single part of business and life, we have so many facets, we have so many levels. And if our CEO, I mean, or presidents or, you know, businesses, organizations, leaders on the top are not willing to not being led by their egos, right? But really by vulnerability and being open and flexible and have this passion for learning and grow, then very quickly they will become the bottleneck of their company or corporations.
Absolutely.
And will keep their baby, so to speak, or the departments if they are in a executive position. So those three categories, to me, it means everything, because that's the quality people we want to all accept and attract into our surroundings, because who we surround by ourselves with, this is who we become too. Our value has to be shared, right? We are here to empower each other, to catapult each other growth, and the trust and respect Linda was mentioning at the beginning, and the no judgment zone is so important in any type of growth, because growth, it can be painful. Growth is necessary, right? It can be painful, but only if we make it painful. It depends on us.
Yeah. And one of the things I really appreciate about is your second tenet there, that respecting other women, because too often in the corporate world, it becomes a kind of dog eat dog competition. Yes. And because we're competing in that male world, we tend to, that kind of embraces everybody. I've told this story before, but when I had my staffing firm, I had mostly women in the company. And now and then I'd hire a male, but mostly it was women. But the first thing I did is remind them that they were hired because of the great skills and abilities that they brought to the position. However, every other person in the company was hired for the same reason, and that they needed to respect one another and work together. And it was an amazing experience. It was 12 years of really women working together and doing it extremely well. And
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so important, Regina, to create that culture early on, right? And we really, the same sort of idea, we really emphasize that every single member is embarking on a continuous discovery, a journey of continuous learning and discovery that informs their perspective and nurtures maybe new skill sets, maybe new aptitudes, maybe new perspectives. But at every single stage of your career, you have to learn how to keep creating sustainable impact and influence. And it changes at every single stage of your career. And for me, I really think throughout your leadership journey, you must continue to learn how to better serve others, how to genuinely support their career advancement, their overall engagement in work. You have to be mindful of the opportunity and the responsibility that you have as a leader to serve the advancement of others. And by doing that, you serve your own advancement as well. So of course, everyone is responsible for developing new skills. It could be negotiation or public speaking based on your own personal and professional growth. But I will also tell that for me, the fulfilling feeling of giving back and contributing to others is absolutely unparalleled. True meaning, true purpose is about how you get to better the lives of the people around you, your loved ones, the people in your community, the lives of people maybe somewhere else in the world, maybe a continent you've never even been to. But meaning never comes from what you get, it comes from what you give. So being able to find ways to give back and make a real impact in the world is what matters. And you're only going to be able to create that meaning if you're constantly learning what success means to other people around the world, or what success means to other people even around you.
Right. And I call that the ripple effect. And that's what gets you up in the morning, right? Is being part of that ripple effect, knowing that you're making a difference in someone else's life and they're going out and making a difference in the world. And it just ripples out forever and ever.
I love that.
We have such a privilege to be leaders in everything what we do. But being a leader is not only a privilege, but also a huge responsibility, because we're making impact, right? In the world. So this has to be something we do it with passion for the highest good on everyone else involved. So that's the number one. And if we do that, the ripple effect that Regina mentioned is exponential. It will catapult not only us, but by creating other leaders in their fields, we have an impact on millions or billions of people out there, which I think that's what counts. So our impact can be absolutely outstanding. And what I really love, what Linda also mentioned, the record of all the members that she is attracting, right? That they all have the same value, because you can tell
Yes.
she's passionate about this. It's almost like a soul purpose, right?
Yes.
If we are working within our soul purpose, it's basically a pleasure to work with, not really a work. But I would love us to also talk about challenges in a minute, because I know that Regina has a few phenomenal questions for you. So before we jump into challenges that I think we all experience, and all your members and our clients as well, let's talk about something else here.
Well, and actually, Asha, I was quite ready to dive into
Are
challenges.
you
I
there?
am. I would love to hear more about, because you have such a finger, on the pulse of these organizations, of these women, and we know that you work with a lot of CEOs. The CEO Holy Grail is what we're about here. That we'd love to hear from your perspective the challenges, that maybe the top 2 or 3 challenges that you see that these women CEOs are facing
I
and
love
dealing
that.
with.
One comment before we jump to that question about leadership, because you both made such incredible points around leadership, and I resonate with everything you both said. But to me, impactful leadership is about making long-lasting, positive, and meaningful contributions to organizations and communities and in the lives of people around you. And I think that is a defining characteristic and attribute of most of the women of Leadership Global too. I
Yeah.
think as women, we've learned to combine our mind and heart to lead and to
Yes.
achieve sustainable goals that build true lasting impact by genuinely and generously influencing people to believe, trust, and join us in our mission. But it's really based on that foundation of trust, right? You're
Yes.
never going to influence people. You're never going to lead people if there isn't a deep-seated understanding of the mission, the vision, and the trust in the leader to get us to that destination. So I think to influence people to believe, trust, and join you in your mission, you have to combine your mind and your heart. So I would just say that that is also one of the most, I think, strong advantages of women in leadership, is that, not only does every single woman have a unique leadership style based on their values, their character traits, and talents, but they tend to serve with both their mind and their heart, incorporating almost an attitude of service that
Mm-hmm.
genuinely connects with the people that they have responsibility for to earn their loyalty. They
Yes.
earn the loyalty of those that they lead. It's not expected because of the title. So I think that's really important. Now, when I listen to the women of Leadership Global about what they are most interested in sort of leveling up, if you will, it's almost always connected to issues of sales and marketing. So it
Mm.
may be about moving into a new market. That market might be connected to a new geography, a new industry, maybe a new client definition, maybe a new psychographic or lifestyle profile of the people they're trying to connect with. But it's some way changing the market that they're currently in. It may be that they're introducing a new product or a new service and they want to attract a new client base. They want to move into a new market. And sometimes they want to move into a new geography, like we want to expand into Europe or into Africa. And so some of the new marketplaces can be defined geographically, but oftentimes they're defined based on the client or the customer that they want to serve. So that's an idea that I think really resonates with a lot of members, is they're always looking to expand and grow their marketplace. And they're looking for ways of doing that in a very smart, effective, and efficient kind of manner. Now, as you move into new marketplaces, of course, the second question is, are we positioned correctly? Are we
Yeah.
positioned in this new marketplace appropriately based on competition, based on current belief systems, based on the product or service that we're bringing to market? So are we positioned in a way that really resonates with the market that we're trying to attract? And does our messaging really resonate with the audience that we're trying to serve in this new marketplace, whether it's geographic or by industry or by business or some sort of characteristic or attribute definition? So I think that those are perennial questions that really effective leaders are always asking. You know, are we in the marketplaces we should be? Are we positioned in a competitive way? Is our messaging resonating with the people we want to serve? And the other, I think, perennial question that we hear often from Leadership Global has to do with a very similar kind of question. How do we create a robust and reliable sales funnel so that we can predict revenue over the course of the next 6 months or year? So how do we begin to codify our sales process and our sales policies and procedures and processes so that it becomes clear who our target audience is? Of that audience, what percent will probably say yes? Of those that say yes, how quickly will they be able to be onboarded into our program, our solution, our product or service? And what does that look like in terms of revenue forecasting then over the course of the next 6 months to a year? Especially for those people that are between $1 million and $10 million, that revenue can be bumpy. So they're looking for ways of streamlining their sales initiatives, sales processes, their outreach to ensure that they are reaching the right people with the right messages at the right time to facilitate a quicker sales cycle to get to a decision more quickly, more expediently, with a lot more confidence, less risk, so that they can anticipate their revenue over the course of the next 6 months to 12 months. So, you know, those I think are perennial questions and issues that you're always sort of tweaking, improving, evolving. And I don't know, unless you're, you know, you're just phenomenally successful and you can't handle all the business you have. I don't know anyone who doesn't think about those things all the time, right? And they tend to land in the areas of sales and marketing. So, you know, if you're in a business at a growth stage or a scale stage, you're not really preparing for exit, but you're growing and scaling in the first 4 stages of the life cycle of a business. One of the fundamental questions you always have to be thinking about is, how do I facilitate and grow that marketplace, that client base, that product and service portfolio, so that I'm optimizing my income, my revenue, and I'm able to keep my expense structure stable. So I don't want to add $1 more of expense, but I want to exponentially grow my revenue. That's really the definition of scale. So to do that, you're really talking about developing clear and I think reliable systems that allow you to forecast and allow you to clearly anticipate outcomes. And that's really much of what we talk about in Leadership Global.
Wow. Excellent. We couldn't have said that any better, could we, Asha? It's wonderful.
Why you think I have Linda, our star of the show, say all of those things? She has everything dialed in. So amazing. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant because, Linda, we have not seen any company that doesn't want to innovate, doesn't want to expand, right? That will face some sort of challenges in sales and marketing area. But those are fun challenges because we are here to assist them, to help them, right? So that's absolutely amazing challenges to have. And I think, like everything what you said, the predictable revenue, but also the sustainable growth, right?
Yeah.
Predictable revenue, predictable systems and operation, KPIs and SOPs. That's exactly what will give us the safety, the predictability that we really need in order to grow, right? That's the key.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And sometimes we find that one of the quickest and easiest ways to grow is through merger, acquisition, or partnerships.
Mhm.
And, effective partnerships often include, some of the fundamentals that we've talked about, like equity and respect. It's acknowledging the value
Yeah.
that each organization brings to the partnership. And the power of partnership
Yeah.
is built on harnessing each person's key strengths.
Yes.
And it's through that partnership that can create, again, that multiplier effect and really exponentially grow the business, the combined business. But I think that if you enter into some sort of merger, acquisition, or growth strategy, you have to come to that partnership with good faith. You have to keep a focus on creating a partnership with a shared vision, a shared definition of success, and then openly share information, maintain clear lines of communication, and have honest discussions around difficult issues. And the more transparent you're able to have, and the more transparency, the more honesty, the more openness you're able to have around difficult issues, the quicker you're going to be able to scale that business. And some of that does require being patient, right? Creating space for the partners to break through instead of break down during difficult times, because there will be. But some of the quickest ways to exponential growth is through collaboration, through mergers, acquisitions, and through partnership. So if you're able to find someone who is incredibly well aligned with your mission, your vision, perhaps even your products and services that you're bringing to market, and you have a sense of trust and familiarity with that counterpart of yours, then I believe that you can significantly grow your impact by creating that collaboration, that partnership. It may be a merger, acquisition, but trust and familiarity are two cornerstones. And they're really built up over time, over 1,000 small acts every single day, where you're extending trust and you're proving that you are trustworthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that is absolutely a roadmap for what Asha and I have done and are doing. I love that. Linda, just one last quick question, because we know we are running out of time here, but what is it costing a company to not deal with those issues, to not get those systems in place, to not take care of those sales and marketing departments and get them everything they need? What's the cost to a company for not doing that?
Well, I honestly think it puts the company at risk. I mean, you know this as well as I do, that when a company moves from growth to scale, that is the point in that business's life cycle where that business is most likely to fail. It's most likely to simply go out of business. And that is real. And that happens every day, that someone just literally says, I'm throwing in the towel. This is too hard. This is too difficult. This is costing too much money. I'm in the red. I'm not in the black. I just don't see a way out, right? And I think the risk of not taking the time to work on the business and not just in the business actually risks the business itself, especially as you move from the two growth phases into scale. When you begin to really scale your company, that's when most companies fail, because it requires an investment in people, processes, technology. And if you don't have the right guidance, and you don't have the right infrastructure, and you don't have the right coaching to make the right investments at the right time, and you're not over investing in something and under investing in something else, that literally can be the death blow to a company. If you're beyond scale and you've hit a ceiling of growth, you're just unable to move past $10 million or $100 million, wherever that ceiling is, it's often because you are not thinking strategically about what is going to empower the growth and the ability to expand beyond the stage of scale you're currently at. And it does involve taking calculated risks.
Yes.
And so what's best in those situations is have an objective third party outside resource come in and really do a thorough evaluation and assess why you've hit that ceiling and what it's going to take to break through. Sometimes it's about an organizational redesign. Sometimes it's a reallocation of resources. Sometimes it's taking the risk of breaking into a new market. Sometimes it's, it could be redeveloping your entire pricing strategy. It could be about changing your bundling strategy. It could be about upgrading or changing your core products. But I think you have to take a very holistic look at what is preventing that next stage of growth and really have someone or a group of someone's come in and evaluate this with a sense of objectivity, because it's really hard when you've been living in the business for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to step outside of it and work on the business with a sense of detachment and objectivity, because you built this.
And it's your baby.
Look at your core products and services and say, it's time for a redo. It's time for evolution. It's time for, we're going to sunset this and create something entirely new. That's scary. That's difficult. And listen, everybody's resistant to change. And it can be hard for a business owner, business founder, or business leader to step into that position of true assessment of their corporation or organization or business and make the necessary changes to facilitate that next level of growth.
Yeah. Which often means removing a lot of things from your own plate as that executive and having the organization that can handle, and the infrastructure that can handle all of that, so that you are not the company.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Linda. Linda, this has been wonderful. You are such a powerhouse of wisdom and experience here, and we appreciate you sharing it with us and our audience. And we would love to have, I'm going to speak for both of us at the moment, we'd love to have you back on other episodes. Okay.
Love that, of course.
I have one last question, because I think we went so far, and it's so true. And we coming back to the the criteria who we do accept as clients, right? Because when we want a change and expansion and everything else, right, the great success, it does requires vulnerability. It does requires being open, not driven by ego, right? Only then we can allow our company, our people expand. So now, and I wrote it down because I love that. You've mentioned the power partnership, and this is it, our dear audience. The power partnership is not only to expand our companies and our growth, but really entering within your company, Linda, and entering with a relationship with the CEO Holy Grail. It is accessing the power partnership, creating that power partnership that will catapult and speed up the sustainable growth and the revenue that really we all focus on, and our goal. Now, I would love you to tell us what, in your opinion, are the cornerstone of this powerful partnership when people want to, be part of your community and they want to be part of CEO Holy Grail community. What, in your opinion, are the cornerstones of the power partnership?
Yeah, we kind of went through some of these ideas, but I believe that the core values of an effective partnership include equity and respect, genuine commitment to the partnership, transparency, openly sharing information, maintaining clear lines of communication, patience and persistence, knowing that, listen, there's going to be misunderstandings. That's part of human existence, right? There's going to be misunderstandings. There's going to be places of expectation that weren't clearly outlined. And so you have to be patient. You have to be persistent in pursuing the relationship and the partnership. And then over time, I think you have to be clear that you are responsible for earning the trust of your partner. So that sense of trust and familiarity, again, they can only be built up over time. And I think it's 1,000 small acts every day that showcase whether or not you're trustworthy, that showcase whether or not you are someone that's dependable, someone that's reliable, someone that I know has my back. And so to me, those are some of the cornerstones of a true partnership. But I would also say that there are some key factors that are all designed to answer the question, essentially, are we better off together than we are alone? And to answer that question, I would say define the key issues of the partnership. Define the key issues that the partnership, that this collaboration will tackle together. And then determine if partnership's the right choice. Listen, it might be a merger, it might be acquisition, it might be a partnership, it might be a collaboration, but determine what the right structure is for this connection that we're forming. And then identify what the partnership actually needs to be successful. So in some partnerships, you need to share your books. You need to share all your financials. For a lot of people, that is a really big risk. They are really nervous about sharing their financials. But if that is what is needed to be successful, you have to evaluate that. You have to identify that. Listen, we're going to share each other's financials. You're going to be able to see my revenue through the last 5 years and what's projected the next 5 years. Now, I may protect myself by having you sign an NDA, but that is what the partnership needs to be successful. And you have to be open and clear about that. And then I think you have to think about where to make that approach, where to make the suggestion that, listen, I think we're better off together than we are by ourselves. And ask the hard questions. What do you see as your role? What do you see as my role? How are we going to work together? Whose teams come together? How do they come together? You know, you have to investigate at both the operational and personnel level, right? So operationally, how are we going to make this work? But even in terms of our teams, our personnel, how are we going to combine them? And then I think you have to assess the risks and rewards of the partnership. Now, in my experience, the rewards always outweigh the risks in every partnership I've ever been involved in, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't move forward with that. But I will tell you that you have to be clear about what the risks are as well. And if you're not willing to share your financials, you're not willing to share your org chart, and that is what's necessary to make the partnership successful, then I'd say, don't move forward. It's going to be frustrating for them and you, right?
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
You're on mute.
Linda, because you know what, we always talk about this, but this is completely different angle that we had to approach that, you know, much deeper, that really requires way more transparency and set clear goals in order for this to really be successful. So we really thank you. And you know, in the end of the day, we are not here to compete for someone else's time, right? To take away their precious time. It to really make things efficient. So we have to make sure that the goals are in alignment, the values are in alignment, that it will catapult us, this powerful partnership, power partnership, into the basically main top goals or dreams that we already set for ourselves, for our companies, that will affect our private life and our professional life as well. We lost Linda for a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, and we can see.
There you are.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we know that Linda has another appointment to get to, and so we need to wrap up our show for today. We're really grateful that you've been here, Linda, and for sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom. And again, we would love to have you back on the show. and we'll look forward to that. And with that, we will wrap it up and share our okay. So, final thoughts, Linda?
She can't hear us.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead then and just.
All right. So let's wrap it up. Yes.
Deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. As we conclude this episode of the CEO Holy Grail podcast, we extend our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us on this enlightening journey. Your unwavering support and engagement inspire us to continue delivering valuable insights and perspectives to CEOs and entrepreneurs worldwide. We'd like to take a moment to express our heartfelt appreciation to all of our esteemed guests, whose expertise and wisdom have enriched our discussions and provided invaluable insights. We're deeply grateful for their generosity in sharing their knowledge and experiences with our audience. If you have found value in this episode and wish to stay connected, we invite you to like, subscribe, and share the CEO Holy Grail podcast. By doing so, you'll ensure that you never miss an episode, and you'll help us reach a wider audience of aspiring leaders and industry professionals who can benefit from the knowledge and inspiration we provide. If you wish to explore the exclusive Executive Solutions preview, where you can gain further insights into our comprehensive program designed to empower CEOs and entrepreneurs in their pursuit of success, you may contact us directly at the link below. Our team is ready to assist you and provide personalized guidance tailored to your unique needs and aspirations. To schedule a one-on-one appointment, please visit our calendar through the link below and book a time convenient for you. Once again, we express our deepest appreciation for your continued support and participation in the CEO Holy Grail podcast. Your engagement and feedback drive us to deliver thought-provoking content that empowers CEOs and entrepreneurs on their paths to excellence. Together, let us continue to explore the realms of leadership, innovation, and success. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, may your journey to the CEO Holy Grail be filled with growth, fulfillment, and extraordinary achievements.